There's a brand new AI coding assistant making massive waves called Replit Agent, and it's doing that for very, very good reason. This is much along the lines of Cursor AI or Claude Engineer, if you've ever managed to download that into your system. And this is quite incredible. It's the first tool that I really feel is getting 99% of the way close from you describing an application, and this thing builds the entire thing. And it doesn't just provide the code, but it builds the folder structure for the code and allows you to preview it live, and you can even publish it directly from Replit. I've paid the subscription so I can try it out. So we are going to test this out together, and then you can determine if this is something that you need or not. If you don't know me, my name is Nico. I run an online community called the AI Ranking Hub, where we teach people how to use all these tools to maximize your search engine optimization and your automations with the power of artificial intelligence. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the video description below. But let's get started right away. I've already built one first application, which is my FAQ and blog title generator. This is a tool that I would build to get more traffic to my website. A really cool strategy. You create a little application, a little web app, and then you can get backlinks and a lot of free traffic by providing people this little tool. We're going to build another application here, something that I often need, which is a bill splitting app. And we're going to see if it can build what we want. Once you get the paid version of Replit, you're going to be able to use this and you describe what you make. I really like this functionality where you can talk to it. I really like it. So we're going to talk our application thought through and see if it can sort it out for us. I want to create a bill splitting app where I can add the total amount of the bill. I can also add whether I want a tip and how big that tip needs to be. Then I also need to be able to add other people to split this app with me if I need to. I'd like a slider with underneath each people so I can determine which percentage of the bill they need to pay. And it needs to be easily usable. Add some color in there. I don't want this thing just black and white. And I should be able to put the full bill amount, and it should easily tell me how much each individual owns of the bill. So I've turned off the speech, and hopefully with that, I'm going to start building and see how we go. And this is a really interesting thing. It really thinks about all the things that it needs to get ready for the project. It doesn't go right away and start building the code for it, much like the other tools like Claude Engineer or even Claude or ChatGPT. It really understands what it needs to do, and it even gives you options here before you get started. So it creates a plan for the bill splitting app, and it tells me what other things I could have about it. Implement bill history and save functionality, an option to split bill unevenly by amount instead of percentage, include currency conversion. I'll just do the second one. The rest I won't worry about for now. I also don't want to complicate it for this video as well. Hopefully it works all in the one go. And you can see here on the left-hand side, it'll start configuring the folder and the files that it needs. And this is what makes this really incredible. It's so easy to use, even for me that I'm a bit of a muppet. I know nothing about coding, but it's kind of cool to see how it's doing everything. I'm seeing the files being created real time here and configuring themselves. And then in a second, it also tells me, and then in a second, I'll be able to see the whole application and run it out. It's installing all the packages. So all of this is on the Replit website. I don't have to install a single thing, which is a bit mind-blowing. It's like magic to me. On the right-hand side, we start seeing where it's at, what it's doing at the moment. And in the middle, for now, you see everything installing all the packages that it needs to see. Again, on the right-hand side now, we see installing pandas and Plotly. I have no idea what that is, but dependencies, obviously things that it needs for the application. And now it seems to be setting up the environment so that I can view it in my browser. Here we go, it's loading the page. And it's even telling me here, is the colorful and interactive bill splitting app working correctly? Can you see the title and the sidebar with the bill's details? Okay, wow, this is pretty cool. Let's say the bill amount is something a little bit weird, like $625. I'm gonna go percentage, tip percentage. Let's go to 10%. That's a cool slider. So including gives me everything here. The number of people I'm just going to add. And I can add the person's name. So let's add me. How does this work? Person 2 here. Okay. And then person 3. All right. So I now have the bill breakdown, the visualization of how much everyone knows, how much everyone owes, sorry, and I can increase my percentage and hopefully it'll update in real time of, see, it looks like I broke it when I updated it. So we're just going to tell it that actually, let's see if it can fix that. So we're going to give it the error and we're going to tell it when we saw the error. And that's the thing, right? I still don't know a single piece of code, but it looks like I'm still generating the bare minimum functionality that it needs. We're going to give it a while and then see if it fixes everything and I can use it again. And it tells you the whole time what it's doing. So it understands there was an error with the bill calculation. I'm working on fixing it to resolve and ensure the individual bills are correctly calculated and displayed. Cool. So I've got the bill splitter. It's still thinking, so I'm going to tell it, I'm going to wait till it finishes in case I'm going to wreck this again. Cool. Okay, now it tells me that it's done fixing this and it's asking me if I can test it again. I'm going to go with the same weird number, $625. Percentage amount, the tip we're going to leave at 10. I've also got the option to type it in as opposed to put it up here. I'm going to put 3 people this time. And here is another error that's happening, so please ensure the total percentage is 100%. I wanted to do that automatically. I'm actually going to speak this out instead. So it's kind of working, but there's a few things that need to be fixed. So every time I change the percentage of how much a user owes, I get an error message or a alert message saying, please ensure the total percentage is 100% to see the bill breakdown. I want the sliding to happen automatically so that if I slide the percentage of one person all the way to 50%, the percentages of the other people and how much they owed is correctly allocated so that it always equals 100%. I shouldn't have to work out the rest of the percentages. So if person 1 owes 50%, then the other 2 people, for example, it should automatically know that it's going to owe 25%. Let's see if my pretty horrendous explanation worked, but we'll see. Perfect, we'll give it one more go. Now it should have figured everything out. But we did explain it fairly horrendously. We're going to go 10% here. 2, 3 people. Oh, it's now working it out automatically. If we change the percentage now to 10% for the one person. And now it's doing everything as we wanted to. So if I slide the percentage of one person to owe more, let's go 50%. Then everything else changes accordingly, and then I know the price of how much everyone owes. That's perfect. So I'm just going to put the names here. I can preview it in other ways, so I can preview the entire app here, which is kind of cool. I think this is kind of magical. I can now export this or place this wherever I want. You can also publish this. It is an additional $12, but like before, you can publish it to a link, although I've already published this one, so I can't publish another one without paying for it. But you can see that I created my app in a number of minutes. There was a bit of back and forth, but I think that's really due to my errors. I don't know enough about app creation to detail its entire thing. But there you go. In a matter of minutes, we created a pretty cool app that works really well with Replit Agent. I highly recommend it. I'll leave a link so you can access it below. This is getting pretty perfect to describe the application, make the application, and even publish it, which is kind of magical. Again, if you want to learn how to use AI to maximize your search engine optimization, or if you want to join a community where people really love this kind of stuff and you can maximize your marketing and learn a bit of automations, check out our community. Otherwise, if you really like this video, give me a little subscribe and a like. Cheers.